Air travel has revolutionized how we explore the world, making it possible to traverse continents in hours. But buckle up and join Viewcation as we discuss some terrifying facts about airplanes that are 100% true. The danger of takeoff. The thrill of an airplane takeoff is an experience many of us relish. The engines roar to life, the plane accelerates down the runway, and soon we're soaring above the clouds. But what most passengers don't realize is that this phase of the flight is also one of the most dangerous. According to data from Boeing, nearly half of all fatal accidents occur during the takeoff and initial climb. This is in stark contrast to the common belief that cruising at high altitude is the riskiest part. One reason is the sheer complexity of the operation. Takeoff requires a high level of precision and coordination between the pilots, air traffic control, and ground crew. The airplane must reach a specific speed, known as V1, to safely lift off the ground. If an engine fails or another critical issue arises before reaching this speed, the pilots must abort the takeoff. But if the problem occurs after reaching V1, the pilots must continue the takeoff as there might not be enough runway left to stop safely. The germ overload in airplanes. There's a less glamorous side to air travel that often goes unnoticed: the presence of germs. The confined space of an airplane cabin, combined with the high turnover of passengers, creates an environment ripe for bacteria and viruses. A study conducted by Travel Math found that airplanes are teeming with germs, and they're not just confined to the places you might expect. While it's not surprising that airplane bathrooms harbor bacteria, the study revealed that the most germ-infested place on an airplane is actually the tray table. With 2,155 colony-forming units, CFU, per square inch, tray tables were found to have 8 times more bacteria than the bathroom flush button. One reason is they're used for various purposes by different passengers throughout the day. Some people use it for eating, others rest their heads on it. And the cleaning crews don't always have enough time to thoroughly clean each tray table between flights. Other germ hotspots include seatbelt buckles and overhead air vents. These areas are frequently touched but rarely cleaned. The myth of the safest seat. When boarding an airplane, many passengers wonder if their seat is the safest in case of an accident. Some believe the back of the plane is the safest, while others swear by the seats near the wings. The truth, however, isn't so straightforward. Every plane crash is unique, with different factors contributing to the impact and damage. So the safety of a seat can vary depending on the nature of the accident. In a nose-first crash, the rear seats might be safer, while in a tail-first crash, the front seat's good. A study conducted in 2012 attempted to shed some light. Researchers crashed an uncrewed Boeing 747 into the Mexican desert in a simulated emergency landing. The results showed that the front of the plane fared the worst, with the cockpit mangled and some seats flung hundreds of feet away. In contrast, an analysis conducted by Time magazine in 2015, using data from the FAA's Aircraft Accident Database, revealed that the middle seats, located near the rear of the plane, had the lowest fatality rates. But this doesn't guarantee safety in all situations. The unclean water on airplanes. When flying at 35,000 feet, one would expect the water you're served to be as clean as the clouds outside your window. But that's not always the case. A 2019 airline water study investigated the quality of tap water on major and regional U.S. carriers. They found varying levels of E. coli and coliform bacteria, both of which are present in feces, and the aircraft's water. The water is supplied through faucets in the galley and lavatories, used to wash hands and even to make hot beverages like coffee and tea. The presence of these bacteria in the water supply can pose a risk to passengers, especially those with compromised immune systems. Consuming contaminated water can lead to gastrointestinal illnesses, which are not something you want to deal with during or after a flight. So bring your own bottle of water on board. The truth about airplane food. Airplane food has long been the subject of jokes and complaints among travelers. From bland flavors to unappetizing presentations, in-flight meals often leave much to be desired. One surprising fact about airplane food is that it may have been cooked up to 3 days before you consume it. Due to the logistics of feeding hundreds of passengers on multiple flights each day, airlines often prepare meals in large batches, which are then chilled and reheated on the plane. This process can affect the taste and texture of the food, making it less enjoyable than a freshly cooked meal. And the dry air and low pressure in the airplane cabin can dull your sense of taste and smell. making food taste more bland than it would on the ground. To compensate for this, airlines often add extra salt and spices to their meals, which can lead to its own set of complaints. Furthermore, the FDA found 1,500 food violations over a period of 4 years from 2008 to 2012. These ranged from dirty utensils to unrefrigerated food, raising concerns about the safety and hygiene of airplane food. 90-second escape window. Air travel is one of the safest modes of transportation, but in the rare event of an emergency, every second counts. One of the most critical situations is a fire on board. In such a scenario, the FAA mandates that an airplane should be fully evacuated in 90 seconds or less, even with half the exits blocked. This is because within approximately 90 seconds, a small flame can turn into an uncontrollable fire, engulfing the cabin and producing toxic smoke. The time frame is often referred to as the golden time for evacuation, the brief window during which the chances of escaping a burning aircraft are the highest. Aircraft are designed with numerous emergency exits and evacuation slides to facilitate this rapid evacuation. Additionally, your seat location can impact your evacuation speed. Research suggests that passengers seated within 5 rows of an exit have higher survival rates during an emergency. So being aware of the nearest exits can be vital. Risks of electronic devices in air travel. As you settle into your seat on an airplane, one of the first instructions you hear is to switch your devices to airplane mode. It might seem like a minor detail, but it plays a crucial role in maintaining safety. The signals from electronic devices can interfere with the aircraft's communication systems, disrupting the pilot's communication with air traffic control. This can be particularly problematic during critical flight phases like takeoff or landing. In a scenario where multiple passengers are using their devices simultaneously, the cumulative effect could lead to significant interference. This could potentially distract the pilots at a time when their focus needs to be at its peak. The danger of mid-flight selfies. A study by the website Quartz revealed an increasing number of pilot Instagram accounts devoted to in-flight photos, including selfies. Some of these were taken even during takeoffs and landings, when federal rules require a sterile cockpit. The sterile cockpit rule prohibits pilots from engaging in any non-essential activities during critical phases of flight, typically below 10,000 feet. Taking a selfie might seem quick and harmless, but it can be a dangerous distraction. In fact, selfies have been linked to at least one fatal crash. The threat of laser pointers. Laser pointers, the small handheld devices that emit a powerful beam of light, are often used in presentations or as toys, but when misused, they can pose a significant threat to aviation safety. The FAA reports that incidents of people aiming laser pointers at planes have increased tenfold since 2006. These high-powered lasers can incapacitate pilots during the crucial moments of takeoff and landing. When a laser beam hits the cockpit, it can create a bright flash of light that temporarily blinds the pilots, a phenomenon known as flash blindness. It can lead to disorientation and loss of situational awareness, which can be catastrophic when the plane is close to the ground. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these facts did you find most surprising? Let us know in the comment section below.